Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with another random video. So, as you no doubt can tell from the title, we need to talk about Assassin's Creed 3. So, not super long ago, I was doing Assassin's Creed 3 as a playthrough, and it hasn't gone well. So in that playthrough, I discovered that is actually the second time I started a playthrough. The very first time I did it was over a year ago, which I didn't really remember this super clearly. But I was over a year ago, and I still had the save. Is the only reason I even know any of this is because I had the save on my Xbox, and so I was like, wait a minute, there's this save on here. What's up with this? So I opened it, and I was 38 minutes from being done with the game. By the way, it was the very final chase, the very final fight. I don't remember what happened. I would assume that something pissed me off, and I lost my temper, and I don't know if I killed the recording or what happened with that, but whatever reason, I didn't finish the playthrough, and I deleted the whole thing, right? So then, over a year later, we were back, and we started it again, and I'm having a really hard time getting through it. See, my problem with Assassin's Creed 3 is, for one, there's some story things that kind of annoy me. I don't like how they represent the founding fathers in that game. It feels like it feels like Ubisoft has an agenda. Let's just leave it at that. And I don't agree with it. And I don't like it. So their representation of like George Washington and all these other people really annoy me. I really don't like Ubisoft's representation of any of them. So that's the first problem. Second problem is Connor isn't super likable as a main character. He's fine. He's just kind of bland, and he's sort of whatever. Other little problem is it's kind of glitchy as far as an Assassin's Creed game goes. There's a lot of like Connor leapt off a building he shouldn't have, or he stepped off a ledge he shouldn't have, or he just didn't do what you expected him to. Like, you'll like try to parkour a section and you're hitting the right buttons, but he just doesn't do it. Like, there's just weird little glitches and little stability problems and such things. And so it just kind of makes it a rough experience to get through. And of course, because of all of those little things all at once, I have a really hard time getting through it. The main reason why I keep wanting to do it and keep trying to do it is because, for the most part, I mean, so far we've done them all in order. We did all of them, and even one of them that I struggled with, like the very end of Assassin's Creed 2. The very end of Assassin's Creed 2 was a little bit rough, and I went back like a month later or something, and I finished it. Or it was sometime later that we did the playthrough. I got stuck in the finale. I was just not there. I wasn't feeling it, and I said, you know what, good enough. And I called the playthrough, which I'd never done up until that point. And then it was a little while later, I posted a video where I went back and I actually beat that finale, and then in another video. And then I said, like, hey, sorry about that. I don't like leaving unfinished business, so we're back. And that happened at Assassin's Creed 2. And so the problem is we've done them all in order. So technically, if for the viewer, doing them in order might mean you could to some degree follow like Desmond's story, and you could follow what's happening in the modern timeline. The problem is, on my end, I'm doing them so far apart that I don't have any idea what's happening in the modern timeline. And really, that was like the number one reason why I was doing them all in order, is because it felt like the right thing to do, to try to do them all in order, so that at least from a viewer perspective, you could get through all of Desmond's story. And so you would know on the modern timeline what was going on and whatnot. But I have no idea what's happening. And the problem is, it's made it difficult, and of course, because of all my other gripes with Assassin's Creed 3, it just makes it so I just don't want to play it, and I don't want to do it on the channel. And I feel like I've just hit this point where I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to restart it again. I don't want to continue the playthrough that I technically had going. And so what I'm thinking the plan is gonna be is, I'm thinking instead that I'm going to delete the playthrough that at the time of this video is currently up on the channel, but it soon will not be. And I'm thinking I'm going to delete I think it's like 5 or 6 videos, and I'm going to delete those, and I think we're gonna skip Assassin's Creed 3. And I would say that if you're curious about like the modern story and how it's connected, I would find a YouTube video that would summarize it. Because no doubt there will certainly be one, and And so there'll definitely be a some other YouTuber that's really capable will summarize Desmond's story for you. He'll summarize the modern events. He'll summarize what happens. He'll summarize what happens in Assassin's Creed 3, and then we can just be done with it. Because the fact is, the events in game for like the ancient timeline just don't matter. They're not related to what's happening in the modern one, and so it's like it doesn't matter to a bigger overall connected story what happens to Connor. It just doesn't make a difference. And I know for a fact you don't need to know what happened with Connor to appreciate Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You don't. That doesn't matter at all. And of course, for the modern stuff, there'll be some other YouTube video that would summarize what happens with Desmond and everything there. But the fact is, most nobody cares about the modern stuff anyway, and everybody just gets through the modern section so that they can get to the old timeline, right? The period specific stuff, which is what everybody wants to play, me included. And so I think this is going to be the last straw as far as Assassin's Creed 3 is concerned. At least at the time of recording this, I'm thinking I'm probably not going to attempt it again. And I think we're just going to call it good. Down the road, I might return to Assassin's Creed 3 and all that crap for achievements, maybe. Like, maybe do that down the road, but maybe. But otherwise, I just don't think it needs to be done on the channel. And I've had this kind of paradigm shift on my thoughts on what the channel needs and what it doesn't. And I just think, like, the time time as a concept is limited for all of us individuals. So you should be spending your time on things that matter and things that are important and things that you really care about. And I think I'm trying to be done wasting my time on doing things like on the channel. I'm like spending valuable time that I could be recording games that I want to play, trying to like piss around on Assassin's Creed 3 for the umpteenth time and trying to do a playthrough that I'm not interested in, which is not going to make good content anyway. And I should just be focusing on stuff that I know I'm interested in, and that's a much safer bet. And I know 3 is this weird dead spot in my interest of Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed as a series. And whenever we get to another Assassin's Creed, it excites me a lot knowing that our next one is Black Flag. That really excites me. Knowing that Black Flag can be the next one we jump into whenever we're ready, and then that's really exciting. And then knowing after that, there's other ones I want to check out, like Unity, which I'm interested in. I've only gotten like a couple of hours into that one, and then Syndicate, which I've almost beaten, but I haven't touched the DLC stuff for that one. And then Origins, which I've never even opened, and then of course the newer ones, which I don't even own, like Odyssey and Valhalla and all those ones. And so there's just I want to get to the other ones, and Assassin's Creed 3 is this roadblock, and I'm tired of having it in the way. And so I'm not saying that an Assassin's Creed's coming up, because it's not. I have an idea about what's going on with my main games and my side games, and what's going to happen next for quite a bit. I have a lot lined up as it is. It's going to take a long time to get through even what I've already planned, and so I have no idea when another Assassin's Creed will be coming, but it's very liberating for me to know that the next time we could do it, we could jump into 4, and we just don't have to worry about 3 anymore. So I'm thinking that's the plan, and I'm sorry if this has been an annoying trip for you guys, trying to, like, if anybody was interested in Assassin's Creed 3 and watching me go in and then leave the playthrough, then get in and leave the playthrough, it's probably just not fun, and I am officially pulling the plug, and I will not put you through this again. If I ever attempted 3 in the future, even if it was after we did other ones, if for some reason it really bothered me that I'd skipped 3 and I wanted to do it, what I was thinking I might do for some games that are difficult to get through, I might record the entirety of the game off camera, but I might record the entirety of the game, finish the playthrough, and then start putting up parts. Put it up when I know it's done, so I know it's safe to put up. And I'm thinking that might be something I do, not super consistently, because I just don't think that needs to happen necessarily, but sometimes I have there's some games that I'm worried about recording in parts and committing to like this time frame of needing to put them up. Like for instance, I don't want to get on a super big tirade, but Need for Speed Most Wanted, the original Most Wanted, And you know, with like the what is it, like it's like I think it's called like the 15 blacklist members or whatever. Back in the day, I used to play it not nearly as much as Carbon, and it doesn't have the nostalgia for me that Carbon does to the same extent. But I've never beaten Most Wanted. I've gotten whatever, I beat up to the first 5 people or something. But it would be a very good game to 100% because the only achievements are for beating the racers, and then that's it. And so it could be a really good for gamer score. But at some point, I want to do it on the channel. But I recall that game being kind of difficult, and like a lot of old school Need for Speed games. And so I'm a little concerned about like starting that playthrough and locking myself into a timeline to try and beat it. Because if it is really hard, then I'm really nervous about locking myself in and then just getting dumpstered, like, and then getting stuck and having to worry about that. So if I recorded the whole playthrough and then finished it, then of course, if it took me way longer to get through it, like that would be okay. And so I've considered doing that system for some games, and as long as it doesn't affect what I'm doing as far as what's currently going up and stuff. And generally speaking, like 90% of my games are going to be just what you would expect. It's going to be the same system I've done for whatever 5 or 6 years now. Just recording it, putting it up, not a big deal. I'm not like a terrible gamer. Consistently, I get through stuff. I'm certainly not the greatest gamer. But I'm not awful at, generally speaking, at games, and I get through stuff. I'm not half bad. But some games can be difficult, and so I don't know. But yeah, I'm thinking that Assassin's Creed 3, we're just gonna pull the plug and not worry about it anymore. And whenever I'm ready for another Assassin's Creed, we can jump into 4, and that'll be exciting. And there's a lot of other good stuff to come. At the time of recording this, we just finished the finale of Tomb Raider. Will be going up soon, and we're doing Dragon Age, and I've already started our next playthrough on what's replacing Tomb Raider, and it's a spoilers, but it's a blind playthrough, and so something I've never done before. So to help, just do something fresh and not have to worry about it anymore, and that'll be nice. And so anyway, I just want to drop you guys a line on what happened with that, and we can just put this Assassin's Creed 3 problem to rest and just not have to worry about it anymore. And so I am looking forward to not having to worry about it anymore. So anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.
Oh, did I just collateral that guy?
Yeet. There, you go first.
He's like, I think it's clear, man. You're good. As the great Bob Ross would say, what a happy accident. Later, idiots.
I could hear Darth Vader in my head. I have you now.
No, walk it off, bro. You're okay. It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up. That was so perfect.